action. Hey guys, what's rockin'? Thatcher's here with 4-1 Tunes. So here we go. All right, I'm just gonna hop in. This is Chip in the Charge Ups, Paying Back the Devil.
I'm paying back the devil. I peel my lips up off the street. I shake the stones right out from under my eyebrows. I check the mirror to count my teeth. And stain the sick with drops of crimson from my mouth. I believe in getting even, and I will seize my moment. I'm coming for you like I'm paying back the devil. I'm living in hell with the score I gotta settle. One thing's for sure, I'll be back for more. Gonna turn one battle into a war. I'm coming for you like I'm paying back the devil. I'm paying back the devil. I have survived your flames and heat. Can't stand up to my rage and my fury. Time to cash in this receipt. I'm scorned and it's your turn to be sorry. I believe in getting even, and I will seize my moment. I'm coming for you like I'm paying back the devil. I'm living in hell with the score I gotta settle. One thing's for sure, I'll be back for more. Gonna turn one battle into a war. I'm coming for you like I'm paying back the devil. I'm paying back the devil. Revenge is sweeter. Revenge is sweeter. Revenge is sweeter. I'm coming for you like I'm paying back the devil. I'm living in hell with the score I gotta settle. One thing's for sure, I'll be back for more. Gonna turn one battle into a war. I'm coming for you like I'm paying back the devil. Paying back the devil. Paying back. I'm paying back. Paying back.
I'm Chip,
I'm Maleena.
and we're from
Chip in the Charge Ups.
I wasn't aware of what we were doing, but okay.
Can you tell me about the song and the process of making it?
Yeah, this one was a different one for us. We worked with Sean McDonald from Red Medicine Studios, and it's really interesting the way he helps to build songs as a producer. So how it worked is I gave him about demos to about 20-ish, 24 songs, and said, what do you like? What inspires you? What do you think you can work with, build upon, improve upon, and, bring a creative edge to it? So there was this one song that he liked it, but because it was so formed already, it was almost like, okay, it's kind of like done as is. What can we do to start over with it or build it since it's already done? And I said, you know what, let's not, if it's a statue on its own, let's not break its arms and legs and head off and just rebuild it. Why don't we just do something similar? And that's how I started off with this song. Paying Back the Devil actually started as a song that was called The Purpose of Life. But the world will have to wait a little while to learn what the purpose of life is, because we eventually changed it and it turned into Paying Back the Devil. And we just worked on it little by little by little, an idea here, idea there, and then it just built up over time until we said, you know what, we're happy where it is, it's time to record it. But that whole process was about a year.
And I will seize my moment.
And it's a little bit heavier than what you guys have done so far. Or can we look forward to more heavy music? Or are you going to try to like go in different directions?
Well, I think that's still to be determined. Paying Back the Devil will be also, in addition to being a standalone single, it will be on our new EP. We have probably about 7 other songs that are very close to being recorded. We'll probably do a 5-song EP. We'll basically, finish what we have and see what fits together. So it's very possible that we will be a heavier band in 2023 than we were in the years prior.
I like that you guys are shaking it up a little bit.
Thank you. You gotta, can't do the same thing all the time, especially if, you're not getting the growth that you want. Obviously we want to get our music out to as many people in the world. So if there's something that we can do better, do differently, to appeal to more people, then we'll at least entertain them.
Especially with the oversaturation of pop punk in the world right now. When we started, it was like, different than what was mainstream, and since then pop punk has become like a really big genre. So we always strive to stand out in the crowd.
I am here with Chip and the Charge Ups. Chip of Chip and the Charge Ups. Telling you about Chip and the Charge Ups. I'm about to go check out the Chip and the Charge Ups.
We've played, as Chip and the Charge Ups, we've probably played at least 100 shows. That's not including how many shows I've played on my own, or with other bands, or with School of Rock, with Spacebat Rock Academy. It's like, I can't even...
According to Setlist FM, Chip and the Charge Ups have played 55 sets since 2018. We did 17 this year. We tied it's a tie between the number of shows you did last year before I joined the band.
Well, if that's what Setlist FM says, then obviously it's...
What other bands or projects are each of you working on?
Nothing for me, that's these guys.
You gonna go first, Nolan?
You go. I've been
All
talking
right.
a lot, it feels like.
I have my solo project. It's just my name, Maleena. I just put out an EP this year, and I'm working on a couple other songs. 2 albums out. Both of them are very different. My first one, Bruises to Prove It, is like a singer-songwriter EP, and then the second one, Diary of a Music School Dropout, is a more punk, pop-punk, angrier type of album. My music is going in all different directions.
Hi.
Nolan.
I've been playing drums in Pittsburgh for 10 years of just different bands, different projects. I jammed still with my high school band, Inbound. Like, those guys, like, we're still tight and we still play and make music together. But at the moment, like, Chip and the Charge Ups is really the one that's playing up the most. As a drummer, I go into the room and I let my guitar players and my bass players really just show what they have. I have a wide range of influence where it comes from pop punk to harder rock, and with a lot of the music that I've released over the years, I've just tried to make the drums be unique but also fit the best.
And let's face it, if you put a pop punk feel in a song like, say, Foo Fighters, it's still going to sound like Foo Fighters, right?
I guess you're right.
To rock a leather jacket with pistols pins all across the chest. I can please you with my whole hands in public, and you're in a straw hat and a long floor maxi dress. Some people call you a little goody too. so right, feels so right, feels so right, feels so right, feels so right like punk rock. Cool. Come on, Chip. On acoustic guitar. Oi, 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 oi. Oi, 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 oi. Oi, 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 oi.
Well, Trish, as you know, every time you see me, I'm pretty much, and I'm not into charge up uniform. I am wearing a Pittsburgh band shirt because that's like my aesthetic these days. I love to support Pittsburgh music. So if it's the first one, I had a God Hates Unicorn shirt on today. So that's my answer.
Honestly, I think of Steve Hawk. He's a singer-songwriter, but like there's so many great bands in and around Pittsburgh. Anxiety at Best, we've shared the stage with them a few times. Amplifiers, who I just saw for the first time this past summer and bought one of their shirts. So like there's so many great Pittsburgh acts. And
First couple that come to my mind, Poster Child, Bad Judgment, and Griffin Handshake. They're all bands that I've played with myself, and they're some of my favorite local artists right now. For me, I love the connections in the Pittsburgh music scene. We've just met so many really awesome people and really talented musicians, and just getting to have that sense of community with your fellow musicians is incredible.
for me, I would say it's mainly like the family sort of atmosphere of Pittsburgh. I feel like a lot of people that you play with either become like friends, lifelong friends, or like they become your biggest supporters.
And I would agree with those sentiments, but also add that it's like there are so many people pushing for Pittsburgh to be a bigger music city, and whether it's podcasts or web shows or FM radio, the events around town, it just seems like more than ever there's a lot of people trying to push that boulder into making Pittsburgh known for its music, and that's awesome.
There is a ton more young people in the music scene. Pre-pandemic, I was putting on my own shows, and it was like impossible to find other people. I was going to my friends and I'm like, you play guitar? Like, do you want to play this show? I'm trying to put on a show of young people. It was impossible to get young people out to play music, but since the pandemic, every single weekend since it's opened back up, there's local music with a ton of young people. People my age, people younger than me, people in high school, and it's just incredible to see so many younger people bringing the music scene back to life.
For me, the most obvious change in the last couple of years has been COVID related. Like when COVID hit and all the clubs shut down and everything, that summer of 2020, like all of a sudden things started moving outside, and they're like, okay, we can't do club shows, but we can do outdoor shows, and we can have this event and that event. All of a sudden people started thinking live music outside. And in years past, like it was always like the summer was the slow time for Pittsburgh music and live music in Pittsburgh. Like the winter, when there wasn't anything else to do, people would flock to clubs and go to see live music. But as soon as, like Memorial Day hit, you'd see people going camping on the weekends, and then going to Kennywood, and Sandcastle, and Pirate Games, and boating on the river, and doing all these outdoor activities, and everyone was forgetting about music. But now that, thanks to COVID, one of the unintended benefits is like people start embracing live music outside, and that's been great for us because the summers have been our busiest times of the year, which has been awesome. So that's my answer to that.
Played 17 times in 2022.
Cool. Most in warm weather.
Yeah, most outdoor, warm weather. I think that indoor shows has really been the thing that is missing. I feel like a lot of clubs unfortunately had to shut down due to COVID. So I feel like there's a lot less indoor opportunities, and these outdoor festivals make it happen. but it's one of those things in the winter. I would like to go see some more local music.
But he's
already
yeah,
been there,
shouldn't
done that.
yeah, shouldn't this be unrealistic? Something fantasy related that if he had the choice of anyone in the world, including people he couldn't have played with.
That's that's a tough one. I would say like Green Day had to be my first favorite band. I've always wanted to join, go up on stage. I was Trey Cool for Halloween once. I would love to meet those guys in Green Day.
I have two artists that immediately come to mind, Butch Walker and Frank Iero. Not My Chemical Romance, specifically Frank Iero, his solo music.
For me, I would say Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm. I always felt like if I ever had the chance to write a song with her, the most awesome riff would be channeled through me into my guitar, and it would just be legendary. One time when I was chatting with her on Twitter, she said, someday you and I will write a song together. Now this was when she had 150 Twitter followers and before Hailstorm blew up and everything. But I keep thinking, if she said that and put that out into the universe, that could happen someday.
Yeah, Lizzie Hale, if you're watching this, send us an email. Send us a message.
Retweet it and see if she replies.
We're waiting here for you.
So I really like Elise Myers. Do you guys know who that is? She's a TikToker. I don't know. She has a show where it's funny because it's true.
Yeah, I know who she is.
Yeah, so she's my favorite. So I like the question that what's an embarrassing moment? We'll say what's an embarrassing moment with being in the band or playing in music that was horrible then, but looking back it was you can laugh at it and be that was the most ridiculous thing that ever happened. It ended up being a fun story.
Sounds like you've got
Yeah, Nolan, you're laughing, so let's hear it.
So, first ever show. Keynote Cafe, Jeanette, Pennsylvania. No longer there today. Thank you, Jill, for the great years there. I was a fresh 15, 16-year-old kid playing their first ever show in the late April of 2015. And, your guitars and your basses, you have to learn your equipment, right? You have to learn what makes a pedal sound good. What settings you like. Well, that was the first time I've ever dismantled my drum kit, took it to a show, and had to reassemble it in 15 minutes. Little me had a little bit of a panic attack, and literally everything went wrong. My kick drum beater flew off in the middle of my own worst enemy. My throne, different one that I have now, completely fell off the stool, and I was doing a squat for the rest of the song. What else happened that day? I had no monitor, I don't remember, so I couldn't hear anything. So I was also scared there, and then that was also we hit oh, this is your last song, and we had 5 songs still left on our set list. We're oh no, But there's that story, and I go out, I run out of the venue, I grab all my stuff, throw it in the back room, and I go running down the streets of Jeanette crying because everything went wrong. Then there's also a story 2 months later of me also not learning my lesson, and my pick drum beater just flies through the air again, and I try to fix it, and I just yell at my band members while underneath my drum kit, just play Goodbye Sunlight, which had a minute-long guitar intro with no drums. I'm play Goodbye Sunlight now, and they literally were about to play My Own Worst Enemy by Lit, and my bass player's this is Inbound and this is Lit, and then I just yelled, play Goodbye Sunlight, never mind. So we didn't even go into My Own Worst Enemy. So those are my 2 embarrassing stories. From the, other than that, I don't think I've made a fool of myself because I've learned. You gotta treat her nice.
Reminds me of the scene in That thing you do where they like start beating the clover.
This one time I was playing a song and I like forgot the words, but that's not like
Everyone,
like,
that's
you know,
like a daily occurrence for
exactly.
me.
That's like not that crazy. I guess one time I was playing in the church band. It was the first and I think probably the only time that I played in the church band, and the wiring on my knob on my bass came disconnected right before we started playing, and I just didn't have any bass. It's not embarrassing. It's just unfortunate.
I'm still embarrassed by my embarrassing moment. So I don't know if I want to share it yet because she said, like, something you can laugh about now. I'm still a little. Maybe we'll save that for the next time on the show.
What about a favorite memory?
I got a favorite memory is I mentioned Beast of the Berg. So for that show, we usually do a sing-along in our song, The Old Two-Niner. And for that song, I decided that the sing-along, the vibe in the room was so great that the sing-along had to be something special. So I jumped off the stage into the crowd and encouraged everyone to gather around and crouch down. And somehow magically, they all did. And then I led the sing-along, and like as we got louder, we all kind of slowly rose to our feet and went from like real quiet to bombastic. And it was just awesome feeling that connection with fans and all that energy. So that was probably my favorite moment of this year, at least.
I organized a sold-out show at the Smiling Moose for my high school band saying goodbye after 5 years of playing together. This is our final send-off. We sold it out. We played a 15-song set. The energy in that room was just like insane because like it just had everybody who came throughout the years to our set, and it's like it's just a night I think back over and over, and people have videos of it, and it just felt so cool.
I think I've thought of a favorite moment for my musical career. Okay, you're gonna remember this too. All right. So it was this year, actually. I think it was in January or February. I was doing a show with my own solo music, and I had some other people playing with me, and we did Teenagers by My Chemical Romance, and there was a mosh pit of about like 60 young people and my relative.
You have video.
And Chip, whatever we are, whatever our connection is, relative,
Mm-hmm. We are relatives.
We're relatives. There was just a really big mosh pit, and I was like, the coolest feeling ever is having people mosh while I'm singing.
All right, and one more silly question I had, which turned into a little bit of a debate.
Hot.
What?
Yeah. Why cold? Why would you want
Room
your mouth?
temperature? I don't.
This was just like up until 12 seconds ago, I never knew anyone wouldn't brush with warm water.
Why would you
Do
brush
you brush-
with any? I just regular room temperature, like right down the middle, not too hot,
What
not too cold.
what knob do you turn on?
Well, on my sink, there's just one
Oh,
knob.
okay.
You just right in the middle.
Okay,
You wait
so-
till it's a little bit warmer than like freezing cold, but not warm.
Okay, because my sink has a hot knob and a cold knob, and I use the cold, obviously.
I use the hot one because like I feel like you clean your mouth. It's cleaning things. You use warm water most of the time.
Wow.
I feel like it would make the toothpaste work better.
See, I think that now. So we currently don't have a sink in our bathroom, so we're using the kitchen sink, and it's just the one knob thing. And like we always set it to hot, like on the low, so I just knock it over, and then by the time I'm like finished brushing my teeth, it's hot water. And I was like, I wonder what people do. So now we know it's a mixed bag. I never thought of it until I did that, but I do kind of like it better.
Trish understands me.
But like when your toothpaste flavor, it's always like cool mint or
Well, when you think-
Arctic breeze
When
or
you think
something
of
like that.
mint, you can have mint tea.
Yeah, mint hot tea.
There's lots of
But
things
it's
that are
not
hot that are-
mint hot tea flavored toothpaste. It's cool mint, Arctic breeze. things like that, right?
It's hot. That's the only
There
acceptable.
are no hot flavored
I'm
toothpaste.
not on either of your sides here. I don't think it matters. I think you just, as long as you're brushing your teeth.
Why do I sit between you two?
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Spacebat Productions Presents.